try and keep the back straight, not like this. Okay. Keep it. Okay. So now turn. Hey. This hand here shouldn't be straight. Should taper slightly in. So then, hey, push inside. Then push out. Hey. Then short punch. Hey. Then pull back. Hey. Punch. Hey. Then, hey. We'll go again. Hey. Ich. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Roll. Sich. Ha. Good. Hayame. Okay. Well, the first technique that you have, it's Naihanchi like this, with 1 foot turned out. Okay. Naihanchi 1 foot turned out, and I'm leaning into this side. Okay. So when I perform this technique, notice how I'm twisting into this hip, and I'm not upright. So this is no good, right? I'm leaning my body this way, twisting into the hip to here. Then as I screw this leg in, my back comes straight again. Okay, to here. So we step from here and we hip pulls, snaps back. So this pull here is whipping the hand up, and then whip it back. Yeah, here, this way, hip. Then as we turn in, we build pressure on this side. So we push from here, and then we come back. So as I get to here, I extend, and that gives me the impetus then to pull back and hit with the same technique here. Yeah? This hip pulls back away from this, which gives me space to rotate the arm. Okay, then I push into it, and as I push into it, I turn and then come back into Uchiki. So go here, pull, and then back. Okay. Then here, pull, and as I pull, the hand turns to snap back again this way. Each pull, snap back. Pull back again, hand turns, and then hit. So the principle is you're doing a reverse punch, a reverse of a punch, right? So in a punch, the hand travels from the hip out, and as it travels from the hip out, I turn it to a pronated position as it extends in the elbow, right? So it's all relative, right? So if I extend in my elbow and I start to rotate this, or I can pull this part back away from this. As I pull that part back away from it, the same thing happens, I rotate. Okay, so I'm either anchoring here and rotating as I do this, or I'm anchoring here and I'm rotating as I do that. It's the same thing. Okay, and this part Naihanchi Sandan is really good for teaching that kind of thought process, right? And in the first technique, it does it quite big, right? It comes from here and it pushes it all the way to here. Okay. Then the reverse happens. I go from this position, then I pull again back to get back to here. And now I have to go from this position back to this position again. Okay, so what I do is I pull the hip back, I turn my hand again, but this time I push my hip into my hand and then turn it back into this Uruzuki again. But now it hasn't moved, it's still in the same position. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I go out, push to the inside, out, push to the outside, out, stay in position. Here we push, we turn the hand this way, but it comes out from the body, right? But in reality, when my hand's already out there, if I extend it here and push across, it means that I don't have to feed it all the way back in here to send it back out again, because it's still connected to my core. It's only if I take my elbow off my core and I disconnect these two positions, then I start to lose the strength, right? So as long as I keep it connected, it doesn't matter how much this turns. It could pull all the way back to here. Look, I'll really turn this back and get this really turned in, and then push into this movement. Or I could just do it a little this way. Okay, so whether I go big, medium, or little, it's still the same. It's still the same concept happening. So from here into my center and then out. Okay, then turn, compress, expand. Okay, expand here, compress, expand, then hit. Here, 1, 2, pull back, pull, here, and then punch. Here, pull, I could pull, and then do that whole movement if I wanted to, right? But I pull, for the sake of the kata, here, and I stay in this position. Then push down, push, I punch through, more hip if I want to, or less, it's the same. Okay, then here, turn, as this hand starts to do this, 1, pull, then push. As I push, my hand bends and then turns to this. Always try and think about how the movement is starting to feel, rather than how it looks, okay? Because what you should be able to have now is a good framework. All the angles should be nice, the structure should be neat, everything should be in a good position. So now it's about understanding how to use those positions, how to use the transitions between them, and how to, most importantly, get the engine behind it, okay? So that everything becomes functional,